Hi, and welcome to a Spider Strategies training video. My name is Tom Keating, and I'm the Training and Customer Experience Consultant at Spider Strategies. Today, I'm going to walk and talk with you while we observe and describe what's happening in 4 different meetings at a mythical coffee shop called the Spider Coffee Shop. I'll be describing how the Spider Strategies performance management software solution can facilitate productive communications and collaboration at all levels of an organization to drive top-to-bottom execution of strategy plans. The 4 types of meetings we'll observe together today are quarterly strategic updates, monthly operational strategic check-ins, weekly operational team meetings, and individual employee reviews. What you'll see is that at each of these meetings, they focus on different levels of information and data leveraged, strategic or operational details discussed, and visualizations that are employed. And that at each and every level, they foster communication and collaboration by targeting the appropriate audience and allow an organization to actually execute on its strategy at all levels. We'll start by observing a portion of a quarterly strategic update meeting. At this coffee shop, the quarterly strategic update is an opportunity to visualize and discuss how the organization is performing every 3 months at a high level in fulfilling its strategic goals. In these meetings, David, the coffee shop owner, meets with his investors and coffee shop managers. At these quarterly strategy meetings, they typically launch their discussion from an interactive strategy map view of performance. With a strategy map like this one, David and his managers and investors can easily interpret the coffee shop's strategic structure in terms of KPI areas or perspectives on the left, identified objectives in the various bubbles throughout the map, and reflection of performance via the color coding of red for underperforming, yellow for medium performance, and green for overperformance in the trend indicators throughout the strategy map. This intuitive strategy map allows David to simply sit back and allow everyone to quickly get a sense of strategic objectives that are on track versus those that are falling behind. For this September meeting, David starts out focused on end-of-month information for August of 2018. Based on what they see, David and his investors and management team become focused on concerning performance and trends regarding minimizing costs, which is yellow and trending down, improving customer satisfaction, again, yellow performance, and again, a red arrow indicating a trend down from the last month, improving process efficiency, once again, yellow and trending downward, and of course, most concerning, in the bottom on the left, improve facilities, which is underperforming and again, trending down from the previous time period. All of these have cause and effect relationships to each other, as illustrated, of course, throughout the strategy map with arrows. Throughout the full meeting, David and the group will delve into discussions and investigations of all 4 of those areas. But, being the positive team leader he is, David takes a minute to focus on everyone's attention on the objective to reduce turnover in the bottom middle within the organizational capacity perspective. David is able to stay right on the strategy map and using the calendar period selector in the upper right corner, navigate back through months to investigate performance back all the way through April, May, where we were red and underperforming, June, where performance is improving, into July, where performance is over expected goals, and into August, where we are exceeding expectations and on an upward trend. David then uses that good news to transition the conversation to addressing a couple strategic initiatives to reach key organizational goals. The first is an initiative called Increase Profit Sharing Plan Participation in 2018, which is an initiative started back in March that is already yielding the desired outcomes of reducing employee turnover and is ahead of schedule and under budget. Next, David moves on to a quick review of the details, tasks, and Gantt chart perspective in terms of timeline on what has been accomplished within that overall initiative to increase profit-sharing participation. Third, he reminds everyone of the true end goal of this initiative, which is reduction in employee turnover, and using a simple graphical presentation of reduced turnover, he's able to reflect on the wonderful improvement that has been made since March through August of 2018. Then he shares the inverse relationship between the increased profit-sharing participation and the reduced employee turnover, and reflects again with the investors and his management team on the great results. Another new initiative David would like to discuss and review with the investors and his managers is around a goal to attract additional outside investment that could enable them to open a second coffee shop in 2019. David is able to quickly run through an initiative overview of a timeline and a budget with the team and share his thoughts that to ensure the goal of attracting qualified investors and achieving favorable equity, shares, and loan rates, that investors are going to be particularly interested in 4 directly related key objectives: growing customer volume, improving customer satisfaction, increasing cafe revenue, and increasing profitability. David is then able to graphically portray recent historical performance across those 4 key objectives and convey that, generally speaking, they are on the right path to fulfilling the goals of that new initiative to get them where they need to be to attract additional expansion capital for 2019. When addressing his coffee shop managers, David will ask them to stay focused and energized around continuous improvements at the operational level to drive performance in those 4 key objective areas. At this point, let's leave the first quarterly strategic meeting and move on to visiting a monthly operational strategic check-in overview meeting. In this case, David is now meeting more privately with his 2 managers who really run the coffee shop. The focus of this meeting is to determine any areas of concern and success that are having an impact on the coffee shop's ability to achieve both its desired operational outcomes as well as those bigger picture strategic objectives that are ultimately going to help or hinder the profitability and potential expansion and overall success of the organization. In this meeting, the software solution helps David and his managers look at operational performance with the benefit of a strategic lens. This meeting starts off with an operational overview dashboard. Just like the strategy map that guides the discussion in the quarterly strategic update meetings, this KPI family dashboard allows David and his coffee shop managers to easily focus on operational KPI areas where performance is either meeting, exceeding, or underperforming on the defined goals. Based on the easy-to-interpret, again, red, yellow, and green color coding at the bottom of all the various KPI areas, David and his managers see that some areas where they may have operational issues to resolve are within their inputs and their processes that are, of course, ultimately going to impact their strategic outcomes, like customer satisfaction and their ability to grow revenue. They can also see from this dashboard that the profit-sharing program project is doing very well. David's next step is to dive deeper into the details behind the coffee shop's performance to see where any issues may exist that need attention. Since he and his managers all know the importance of keeping costs under control, David and his team first take a look at various costs that impact their business. The cost dashboard immediately highlights a disturbing trend regarding custodial service costs. These costs are on a sharp upward climb. This requires immediate mitigating action to be discussed and executed by David and the coffee shop managers. Next, David and his managers turn their attention to the all-important area of customer satisfaction and the key performance indicators that give them an understanding of their customer satisfaction levels, which include in-store comment cards, ratings, Yelp ratings, and Facebook likes and mentions. This dashboard highlights an area of concern with the in-store comment card ratings that the customers are providing the coffee shop. With the Spider solution, David can easily ad hoc drill down at any time to see a more detailed overview, tabular, and commentary information about any KPI. David decides to drill down on the in-store comment card ratings on the dashboard to see a historical trend for this KPI, as well as along the bottom, the ability to see comments or notes that have been provided. It appears that both managers have done as David asked them to do and taken some time to review the in-store comment cards and summarize them for him. In the first case, Barb Jones, as the morning and afternoon manager, has seen that the biggest problem she sees is that the amount of time it takes to complete certain processes. For example, the creation of cafe mocha drinks should be revisited and improved. Whereas the other manager, Kevin, who covers the afternoon and evening shifts, sees that the primary reason for recent low ratings is the poor cleanliness of the store. Based on the customer satisfaction dashboard and the findings that the managers discovered, David and his management team now know to focus, number one, on improving processes, per the comments that Barb found, and number two, make the coffee shop a cleaner store, per the comments that Kevin found. With that insightful information about improving processes in hand, David next wants to investigate and address the processes of the coffee shop. The process dashboard helps them go a little deeper as managers to understand the specific processes where change is really needed. This allows the managers to focus their precious time and their team resources on issues that will have the greatest impact on performance, that will impact both operational and strategic results. Any processes in red that are falling below the desired performance levels are their key topics for those managers' weekly team meetings with the employees. We'll see one of those meetings in just a few minutes. Next, to keep the meeting on a positive note, David turns his attention to briefly discussing the success of the profit-sharing plan with the managers who helped implement, and takes some time to discuss with them whether they have any additional feedback or input that was maybe not mentioned in the quarterly strategic update meeting that they also attended. Lastly, David shares with the managers that he has implemented a new initiative to ensure that an improved and more affordable custodial service is put into place within the next 60 days. These monthly operational strategic check-in meetings are a great place to kick off the newest round of initiatives to help the organization to continually stay on track and focused on achieving its strategic objectives throughout the year. With that, we'll leave our second meeting and move on to the weekly operational meetings that the managers have with their employees. So now that the mid-level managers have their directives coming out of the monthly operational strategic check-in meeting, they are prepared to drive strategy execution at the operational coffee shop level. Let's take a look at what a weekly operational team meeting may look like at the Spider Coffee Shop. In this case, the managers, Kevin and Barb, are meeting with their employees or baristas, who, again, we all know really run the coffee shop. The managers begin their weekly team meeting with their baristas by focusing on the all-important customer satisfaction dashboard, because every employee needs to make this their top concern. From there, it may be helpful to review and discuss with the employees the recent historical trends behind the customer satisfaction KPIs in the form of a chart view. This chart illustrates that customer satisfaction ratings have taken a recent concerning dip that needs to be addressed. It is perhaps at this point where the managers might inform the baristas that the search is on for a new custodial service, but that they need to help out by keeping an eye on restrooms, tables, and trash bins in the meantime. Next, they move on to share the process dashboard that was used in the monthly operational strategy meeting, having this dashboard displayed for the team of baristas will hopefully facilitate open discussion amongst the baristas and their managers as to why certain tasks are difficult today and what ideas the team members have to make needed improvements. The value in sharing the process dashboard with the baristas is to communicate insightful, data-driven operational information and generate collaboration and discussion to solve detailed problems facing the organization at the operational level. To end their brief meeting on a high note, the managers highlight the continued strong performance and success regarding coffee quality that comes from blind taste testers, and to thank the baristas for their great focus on overall product quality in the store. Finally, from time to time, the managers can leverage the Spider Strategy solution to enable productive individual performance reviews with their employees. Let's visit one last meeting and take a quick look at how a manager may foster a discussion with a team member using dashboards and reports. In looking at an individual briefing for Bill Smith with him privately, his manager Kevin can facilitate a productive, information-driven discussion to address any challenges that he sees Bill may be having. Kevin and Bill can visually review his performance across key processes in the recent month, as well as taking a deeper dive look into Bill's performance across various processes over several months in the recent year. Again, the goal of this individual level, and really every level of meetings that we visited, is to facilitate productive communications and collaboration at all levels of an organization to drive top to bottom execution of strategy plans. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We hope it's been helpful, and if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us at learn@spiderstrategies.com. Thank you and have a great day.